The ability to remain unseen has always been one of the most valuable skills in warfare. Long before advanced surveillance technology existed, soldiers depended on concealment to move, observe, and, well, survive. During World War II, troops often operated in environments where a single mistake, an exposed silhouette, a sudden movement, or even a flash of reflected light, could reveal their position instantly. Concealment was not about disappearing completely. It was about understanding how the human eye works and, reducing the visual signals that attract attention. The soldiers who mastered this skill understood that the environment itself could become their greatest ally. One of the most important principles of concealment is breaking up the human shape. The human body has a recognizable outline. Broad shoulders, a round head, straight arms, and upright posture create a silhouette that stands out clearly against natural terrain. Even at a distance, the brain is very good at recognizing this pattern. During wartime training, soldiers were taught to disrupt that shape whenever possible. This often meant adding natural materials to uniforms or equipment. Small branches, grass or leaves could be attached to helmets and clothing to blur the outline of the body. The goal was not to build a perfect disguise. The goal was to interrupt the clear human form that observers instinctively recognize. When the outline is broken, the brain has a harder time identifying what it is seeing. Another crucial aspect of concealment involves matching the environment's colors and tones. In nature, colors tend to blend together in muted shades. Earth tones, dusty browns, faded greens, and dull greys dominate most natural landscapes. A soldier wearing bright or sharply contrasting colors could be spotted quickly. During World War II, troops operating in different environments often adjusted their clothing or equipment to better match the terrain. In deserts, dusty uniforms blended with sand and rock. In forests, darker greens and browns helped soldiers disappear into the shadows beneath trees. The key principle was simple: avoid contrast. Anything that strongly contrasts with its surroundings immediately draws attention. Modern outdoor enthusiasts can, apply this lesson pretty easily. Clothing that matches the dominant colors of the environment helps reduce visibility significantly. Movement control was another essential element of concealment. The human eye is naturally drawn to motion. Even small movements can be detected quickly, especially in otherwise still environments. Soldiers trained in reconnaissance and scouting learned to move slowly and deliberately to reduce this risk. Instead of walking continuously, they moved in short, careful steps and paused frequently. These pauses allowed the environment to settle and prevented observers from tracking continuous motion. When observation risk increased, soldiers sometimes froze completely. Stillness can be surprisingly effective because the brain often dismisses stationary shapes that do not appear threatening. Learning when to move and when to remain still was a skill that improved with experience. Concealment also depended heavily on using shadows and natural cover. Light and shadow shape the way objects appear in the environment. Standing in direct sunlight makes a person highly visible. while standing in shadow reduces contrast and visibility. Experienced soldiers, they use shadows to their advantage whenever possible. Tree lines, rock formations, buildings, and terrain depressions all created these natural shadow zones that helped hide movement. Another important rule was avoiding the skyline. When a person stands on the crest of a hill or ridge, their body becomes clearly outlined against the bright sky behind them. This creates a sharp silhouette that, honestly, can be seen from a great distance. Instead of walking along the top of ridges, soldiers were trained to move slightly below the crest. This position allowed the terrain itself to conceal their outline from distant observers. Noise discipline also played a role in concealment. While visual detection is often the greatest risk, sound can easily reveal a hidden position. Equipment that rattles, dry branches snapping underfoot, or careless movement through brush can draw attention even when a person is not visible. Soldiers often secured loose gear and moved carefully to avoid unnecessary noise. Slow, controlled movement helped prevent sudden sounds that could reveal their presence. This discipline required patience and awareness of every step taken. Another overlooked factor in concealment was controlling shine and reflection. Shiny surfaces reflect light and can create brief flashes that attract attention from a distance. During wartime operations, soldiers often dulled or covered reflective surfaces on their equipment. Metal parts, polished objects, and glass surfaces were all potential sources of reflection. Even a brief glint from sunlight could, reveal a position. Reducing these reflective surfaces helped maintain concealment, especially during daylight operations. Perhaps the most important lesson about concealment is that it begins with observation and awareness. The soldiers who remained hidden were those who, constantly studied their surroundings. They paid attention to how terrain, vegetation, light and shadow changed throughout the day. Before moving, they often paused to examine the ground ahead. They considered where observers might be positioned and how their movement would appear from different angles. This habit of thinking ahead, honestly, prevented many unnecessary exposures. The art of concealment is not about complex equipment or advanced technology. It's really about understanding the environment and, adapting your behavior to blend into it. So, just to recap, break up your outline. Match the colors of your surroundings. Move slowly and deliberately. Use shadows and terrain to your advantage. And, of course, control noise and eliminate reflections. These principles allowed soldiers during World War II to move through dangerous terrain while avoiding detection. Even today, the same lessons apply to hunters, scouts, outdoor travelers, and really anyone interested in traditional fieldcraft. The environment always provides opportunities for concealment to those who know how to use it. If you value practical survival knowledge, military history, and the timeless skills that helped soldiers survive some of history's toughest battlefields, be sure to subscribe to the channel and share this with someone who respects old-school fieldcraft.